Hey there, it's Tara from Raw Food Livin', and in today's video I want to talk all about cooked food. If I eat cooked food, when I eat it, why I eat it, how my body copes with it. I'm going to answer all of your questions about cooked food in this video. There is this belief going around that cooked food is evil, cooked food is bad, and if you eat any amount of cooked food, you will automatically be unhealthy. And that is something I actually used to believe, that like cooked food was the devil, you never want to touch it, you don't want to eat it in any quantity, any amount. I don't personally feel that way anymore because 1 year ago, if you have watched my videos for a long time, you will have known that 1 year ago I introduced cooked food into my diet. If you're new to my channel, you may wonder why I say I'm a raw vegan if I do eat cooked food the odd time. And here's the reason. I introduced cooked food into my diet 1 year ago so I could prepare for going on campaign with Sea Shepherd. I have tried in many situations to eat raw on Sea Shepherd campaigns, and on land-based campaigns I find it works just fine. When I'm at sea, it is another issue altogether. In 2011 and 2012, I tried to eat raw on the ship. I became super stressed because it just wasn't entirely possible. I ate some cooked food. Because I was so stressed about it, I literally went 40 days without having a bowel movement. It was the most uncomfortable experience I've ever had. I felt ill, and I would never repeat that again. So I had to come up with a scenario of, okay, how can I eat cooked food and still feel okay? How can I introduce cooked food in my diet because I want to go on campaign with Sea Shepherd? It is my life's passion, and am I willing to give up my life's passion for food? The answer for me was no. So that's my personal experience. Maybe it doesn't make me a proper raw vegan, and perhaps it won't be your experience, but that is why I chose to introduce cooked food into my diet. And it is something that I continue to eat on a semi-regular basis because I do need to be prepared to go off with Sea Shepherd on campaign anytime. And it's important to me that if I do eat cooked food, even though I don't feel as good as when I eat raw food, obviously I love raw food, but it is important to me that I'm still able to function normally and not get sick when I do have to eat cooked food. The reason I'm bringing up this topic now is because last night I actually ate some cooked food. So I thought I would tell you about the routine that I have so I can still feel good. And I know some people are gonna say, look, it's cooked food, like it's really not that big of a deal. And I agree, as long as people are eating vegan, awesome, right on, that's great. But the reality is, for those of us who have eaten raw for a long time, your body may have a reaction. It also may not. I know some people who do not have a reaction to cooked food, and that's awesome. But for myself, I have to do specific things so that I don't get sick, so that I don't feel ill and bloated and just unhappy in my body. So these are the things that I do to stay healthy while I have to eat cooked food. The first things I'm going to tell you about are the things that I do on the day of. So what I found works for me is that I cannot eat a lot of fruit coupled with cooked food. So the raw till 4 lifestyle, that kind of thing, it just doesn't work for me. If I eat a ton of raw food, like a ton of fresh fruits and veggies, and then have cooked food that night, I will feel bloated, I will have indigestion, all sorts of problems with my stomach. So the number one thing I found that works for me is to eat less on the day that I'm having cooked food. And it's not because I'm trying to like restrict calories or lose weight or anything like that. It's simply because I want my digestion to be easier and more effortless. So during the day, I will have some fruit. I will keep it really, really light. I may have some ginger to make my stomach feel better, like some crystallized ginger or ginger tea, something like that. And I will keep it simple with smoothies. I will probably have no more than about 1,000 calories. And I do this because I find cooked food to be really, really filling. I know a lot of people love cooked food for this reason, is that you can eat and go like 5 or 6 hours without eating again and you feel full. But that feeling is alien to me because when you eat raw, you feel so light and need food all the time to fill you up. The second thing I do the day of is continue with my routine of intermittent fasting. If you don't know about intermittent fasting or my experience with it, I will share my videos down in the comment section and the description below of why I started intermittent fasting and the benefits I've experienced. But in general, it just helps my digestion. It makes my stomach feel so much better when I intermittent fast the day of. I mean, I do it every day, but specifically on days where I'm going to eat cooked food, I find when I go a long period of time when there's nothing in my stomach except for tea and water, it just helps my digestion so much with cooked food. The third thing that I do the day of is take digestive enzymes. These things are a lifesaver. I just grabbed a generic brand for digesting cooked carbohydrates here in Sweden. I am not sponsored by any particular brand, and if you have any suggestions for really great digestive enzymes, please post them in the comments below. Otherwise, I just get what's available at the local pharmacy. These were essential when I was on the Sea Shepherd ship because I took 5 of them every single morning, and I had to digest the food properly. Because my stomach, I came from a long history of digestive problems prior to coming to raw food, and when I revert to those old habits of eating cooked food, they come right back, those problems. Now let's get to what I eat when I do eat cooked food. Always when I eat cooked food, I'll be eating vegan. I've been vegan for a decade now, 10 years, and I will never go back to eating animal products, so I always make sure that the food I'm eating is plant-based. That's number 1. Number 2 is I always ensure that I have some sort of raw element to the dish. So last night I was here visiting with friends and family, and I did eat some cooked food, and the cooked food was cooked veggie burgers. What I found for me is that I also have to eat gluten-free. I've done some experimentation to see what my body likes and dislikes, because when I was on the Sea Shepherd ship, even though I took all of these precautions for feeling good and taking the digestive enzymes and all these things, I still gained 20 pounds, had my skin break out, and just generally did not feel very good. And it took me months to get back to feeling good in my body again. So what I'm trying to do is experiment so that I don't have to go through those like dips and highs, where I can go to the ship, feel okay, come home, eat raw, and it's not this like huge roller coaster for my body to go on. One of the things I found that helped me for that is eating gluten-free. So I had a gluten-free vegan bun made of starches and corn, and then I had the burger patty itself. And that's all the cooked food that I really wanted to eat. So I incorporated raw elements into it. We made this amazing avocado sauce with fresh avocados, lemon, salt, and pepper. And it is so simple, but so delicious and adds so much flavor. On top of that, I also had a lot of fresh greens on the burger itself, and then fresh greens on the side with more avocado sauce. Then we had pineapple rings to put on top and fresh tomatoes. I also had a small side of baked sweet potatoes put into fries, dipped in the avocado sauce. So it was a delicious meal. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with cooked food. I enjoy it, it's okay. I don't particularly love the way I feel after I eat it, but I know I feel a million times better. That's an overstatement, but I definitely feel a lot better when I incorporate raw foods into the cooked meal, as long as they are vegetables and fatty fruits or fresh greens. Fresh greens make a big difference when you're eating cooked. Now let's get to the last part of what I do the day after I have cooked food. So the next morning, because cooked food is so incredibly filling, I am not hungry until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon the next day. So of course I intermittent fast like I usually do, and I also have lots of water the next morning. That is key to hydrate my system and help move my digestion along. The second thing I do is have a combination of hot tea with digestive enzymes again. So I'll take anywhere from 3 to 5 digestive enzymes, have a cup of hot tea, which always helps my digestion and just gets everything moving properly. And the last thing I will do the morning after is some sort of gentle movement. So this morning I did 1 hour of yin yoga. What it does is helps me relax, because I found when I was on the Sea Shepherd ship, a lot of the problems that I had digestive issues in the first place was because I was so stressed. And when I'm stressed, my stomach just like balls into this tight knot. So for me, it's really important that I find a way to relax into it, and I do that through yoga. Okay, you guys, so those are my experiences with eating cooked food and how I cope with it. I love raw food. I really just want to say that. That's why I have this channel. Of course, my focus is on raw food. I feel best eating this way, and that will always be the focus of my diet and lifestyle. But I'm also realistic in the fact that my dreams are important to me, and I am not going to not work with Sea Shepherd just because I eat raw food. So sometimes if I have to compromise, I'm willing to do that. I'm not saying you should do that, and I'm not saying that cooked food is generally a good thing or a bad thing. Everyone is going to be different, so you have to listen to your body and see how you feel. But I highly recommend that you experiment a little bit and see how you feel good eating. It took me a long time to get to this point where I was able to find a routine that I can eat cooked food and still feel okay, because I just know that my body works best on raw. If you found this experience and this information, my tips and tricks, helpful in any way, please give this video a thumbs up. And also let me know down in the comments below, do you eat cooked food? Do you eat raw food? Do you resonate with anything I'm saying here? Or do I sound like a complete crazy person because I prefer eating raw fruits and vegetables as opposed to cooked? I don't know, but I'm always interested in hearing your input and reading your comments down below. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and I'll catch you next time.